Let me bring in the guests now. Sanjay Sahay is former IPS officer. We have Lieutenant General Dhillon joining us as well. We also have Shashi Kant, former DGP of Punjab. Lieutenant General Dhillon, your thoughts in terms of 24 hours since the blast. Of course, the details are trickling in. NIA has taken over the investigation. There are a number of unanswered questions. Even as the NIA pieces together what all happened, one thing is becoming clear, that this is a sinister plot.
Good evening, Mare, and good evening to the fellow panelists and viewers. Yes, it is clearly a case which has now been established. The linkages to Kashmir and Jaish-e-Mohammad are well established. And more importantly, what was captured from Faridabad, in addition to the 2,900 odd kgs of ammonium nitrate, there were 20 detonators and 24 remote control units. That means there is a possibility of making 20 separate bombs, and which could be, and this one which exploded yesterday near Red Fort was about one of them. So there is every possibility of more such bombs or car bombs or otherwise available, which are still out in the field and not yet been captured by the security forces. That is one. So citizens have to be very, very careful. The agencies are doing their job. Secondly, when there is more than one state police involved and more than one directorate involved, it is very important that National Investigating Agency, which is basically a very professional agency which deals with the counter-terror operations and investigation, that takes on the investigation, and I think that is what has been done, so that everything is controlled centrally and analyzed centrally. And once I'll again request through your channel, all the people, all the citizens who are giving out their property on rent, please don't go by this कि डॉक्टर साहब है, अच्छा आदमी है, शरीफ आदमी है, पढ़ा लिखा है, अच्छी family है. Nothing doing. Please get the verification done by the police. All their characteristics must be checked properly. And your property which has been rented out, you should be very clear who is coming in, who is going out. If it is being used only as a store and someone is just coming and dumping some boxes, and you don't even know what that person is using these boxes for, you got to be careful. You have to inform the police. So alert citizen is a citizen without the uniform or the soldier without the uniform, and everyone has to contribute for the national security. So these are a few opening thoughts. We can carry it forward.
Yes, sure. Well, let me take the opening comments also from Sanjay Sahay.
Yeah, see, primarily the shifting of the whole focus from primarily technicians, technologists, who were heading most of these modules earlier, to doctors, that has been the game changer. Because that's precisely where I think most of the stuff has actually been carried. And these doctors, if we feel that these 4 or 5 doctors have been critical in establishing this whole terror module and bringing it to execution, I don't think that will be the total story. There's a whole logistics behind 2,900 kgs of explosive which is carried, and timers and variety of other things. And there can also be a situation wherein large number of cache has still not been recovered. So what is of critical importance is to first to get the sourcing of the whole thing and how it was detonated. I think the actual detonation is still not known. So how it was detonated, plus the radicalization part. See, where we are failing is the radicalization part. While the action is being taken, and in this particular instance also, I think in nearly 24 hours since the blast, or slightly even less than that, we have been able to piece most of the things together as for how this complex module has taken place. But the crux of the matter is when we feel that terrorism is at its low, the radicalization operates and it comes out in a much more sinister fashion. So all these things have been happening in and around Delhi, and Jammu Kashmir has been basically at the center of it. This whole movement not coming in the radar of the intelligence agencies and also the local law enforcement agencies, I think we need to give it a thought. What is required immediately is even faster, more expeditious investigation so that we don't miss out on anything and so that we don't land up into another situation of this nature. There might be another Dr. Umar who would be running away for his life. So that situation can also come. Other important factor is how much we are basing ourselves.
But Sanjay Sahay, a thought here before I bring in Shashi Kant. My question is that I was also reporting from the site of the blast. There is no crater. and there's no black suit. These were seen as signs associated with some kind of terror activities. That's not the case because it has to do with a particular kind of explosive.
See, that was the conventional mode, the way they have been moving from engineers to doctors. As far as the detonating and the explosive is concerned, they have to move further. And see, ammonium nitrate, what sort of a explosion can it create? I don't know, even best of the people available in this country can exactly pinpoint to the nature of the impact, nature of the explosion, and what will be the remnants by which you can piece together and confidently and substantiate that this has been ammonium nitrate. I presume that the connect between the Faridabad ammonium nitrate and the ammonium nitrate which went into flames at the blast site have been from the same source or from the same warehouse or the same storage place. Ammonium nitrate, if I remember clearly, this sort of a flare-up or explosion accidentally happened in Beirut also. And it put large parts of the city onto flames. It was in the year 2020. So the exact nature of this particular chemical as an explosive and the capability to kill people or maim people, I think that clarity was not existing with most of the people who have been trained into this, who are delivering this, and that is where this whole conventional thought process of ID, sharpener, crater, and all these things came into existence. That is the way we think. But certainly it has moved forward. I think it has been conclusively proved that these are the major personas of this whole exercise, at least on the face of it. There's a huge ecosystem operating from behind, so that is a different story altogether. We are not getting into as of now. But the point is ammonium nitrate as an explosive and the way it is being, and we are not sure of the fact whether this fellow was scared or whatever. Or it was a part of their plan that in case we land up in this situation, we create a terror attack and
absolutely.
that will help us escape.
Yes.
That will help us escape.
Yes, so perhaps Shashi Kant ji will be able to answer that. Mr. Kant, what is being said is, and that's of course by the sources who are telling reporters some details, sharing some details, they say that Dr. Umar's reaction was more of panic. That most of his friends had been detained and arrested by the cops because of this entire anti-terror plot which had been unraveled from Jammu and Kashmir police to Haryana police working in complete coordination. He did not know what to do. He spent 3 hours in that parking lot. And thereafter, he leaves the parking lot at 6:48 p.m. And then the blast goes off. It happens at 6:52.
Yeah, well, I think as of date, it's difficult to say what exactly happened, why he left the place. But the conjecture or the theories that exist as on date are that once the police raided the Faridabad place where all these things were kept, possibly, again, who knows, it's a matter of some investigation, that he left that place, ran away. But yes, he ran away. He might have been panicky, but again, not totally panicky, because when he left that place, first he went to a nearby gas station, got his car's pollution test done. Maybe he feared that if he gets into Delhi and there's some smoke emitting out of that exhaust pipe, he might be checked in something. So that means it was not really totally panic reaction, because he was taking these things, he was acting very coolly, getting his car's pollution test done and all those things. Secondly, I think again, in the field of conjectures, he went to the parking lot, he spent 3 hours there. Possibly he was trying to contact his handlers in Pakistan or wherever they are, or maybe he was trying to just ponder over what to do. Look, even a suicide bomber, when he's gonna do something, they just sit and they're panicky inside, certainly, because this amounts to they're going to end their lives. Even if you look at the case here in Punjab that it happens, that Ben Singh murder case, there's Balwant Singh who blew himself, he was a suicide bomber who killed that Ben Singh. He had also taken time to trying to restore his nerves, and then he went, CM came out and he went there and blasted himself. Possible. All right, no, these are all theories, and all of us have to think about it. But again, the most important things I think which come out is, number one, the use of the guys in white coats. Nobody could have suspected is a new thing. Second, once again, we have this theory or this particular incident that the suicide bombers still do exist. Maybe they try to think about it in a so-called cool fashion and then try to indulge in this thing. Number 3, about the crater theory, which is there. Of course,
Yes.
this forensics will tell what kind of explosive were used. But again, whether there was a crater or not, it depends on the line of impact, where exactly it was kept. If it was kept too close to the ground, then certainly there will be some crater or some kind of marks on the ground or on the road, but it was kept slightly higher, the line of impact will be different. So there are so many different kinds of things. But again, lastly, I'll say it all points out, since the lady who has been arrested, Shaheen, she was heading the Jaish-wing's ladies' wing. So certainly that means that this kind of persons and whosoever was recruited by this woman, certainly they have the potential of indulging into one thing or the other.